Okay, yesterday it was pretty windy, so I don't know if you could hear me. I'll try and send you all these at some point. So I know you probably know the flat walk's pretty easy. So I'm going to do a little bit of his next gait. And when you're doing it, again, it's underneath the trot, so you want it as smooth as you know, whichever gait you want, because they have all different speeds. So if you go a little faster and it's a slight bounce but you don't like it, then you go slower. But all you're trying to do is be consistent with the speed so the horse understands what speed to go. If you think it's smooth and you're like, but I'm not sure if he's trotting or fox trotting, try to post. If you can post and it's easy to post, you're trotting. You're just trotting slow. So it should be awkward to post. So if it's awkward to post, then you're doing the fox trot. And now I'm in the round pen, so you see we have a fence all around us, and I haven't cantered in here. This weather's been so bad this year. So we'll see how it goes, but it should be better than it was in the arena. And if you have a covered round pen there, that's probably the easiest to start in, because no one else will be riding with you in there. You can practice and concentrate, and the horse can concentrate on you and not all the other things that are going around. So I tell people in the beginning, you're going to be nervous. Even though you don't think you're nervous, you're nervous. So you want to go where it's the safest. In the round pen, if something happens, it's small. It's not like they're going to, go around the whole arena. So I'm going to walk by that side once at a flat walk, and then just add more leg and go to his next gate. Remember, the footing affects their gait, so if they keep trotting, you're probably in a deep part of the arena. I'm going to speed up a little, so just a little bit more leg. You just keep half halting and using your leg. Time over there he got a little bouncy. I'd like it a little smoother, so I'm going to go a little slower over there. That's better. Just remember, anytime you give them a break, that's what they learn to get the release. So if you're gaiting well and they get a break, they think, oh, that's what she wants me to do, and I'll get a break. If they're trotting or misbehaving and you stop and start talking to somebody or doing something, that's what they think is the right thing to do, right? Because they don't know right and wrong. They just know what you tell them. So whenever you release, be it that they yank the reins out of their hands, he talks a lot, or whatever the horse is doing, that's what they learn. So, I see, making sure nobody's around, but I see, people come back to the barn and the horse is misbehaving and they loosen the girth and put it in the stall. So the horse just learns when they misbehave, they get put away. So what do you think they're going to do? Misbehave more. Okay, so I'm going to canter. I'm going to half halt, shift my way to the outside, to the right, and ask with my right leg for his left lead. So if you don't know leads, what you're going to see is his right front leg come forward, then his left leg will come further forward. And so it's the leg that they're kind of skipping with, or that comes out farther than the other front leg. And we'll just canter around. What I do in the round pen is I canter next to the wall. Once the horse can do that well, then I canter him off the wall, and then that sets him up for learning how to canter circling the arena. Okay, here we go. Wake up, Bacon. Okay, so remember I said canter is hard for these guys unless they were, you know, show horses and had lots of arena work, because most of these horses have had no arena work before I get them. So he cantered one full circle on his left lead. So you saw me, I made a big huge fuss, and I didn't keep going because I know it's hard for him, takes a lot of energy, the footing is deep in here. So the fact he stayed on the lead, cantered all the way around, was actually off the wall, was fantastic for him. But now you can see when I show you the video that's in the arena, and the arena looks flat, but it's not, because you saw it in person, it's not flat. He was having issues, and he was having issues when he was cantering in the middle. And so it all, with these gaited horses, the weird part that people don't understand is it's the footing, it's the slant of the arena, uphill versus downhill. And all of that will change if they can stay in the canter, they can't stay in the canter, and it also affects their gait. Okay, so now he got a little bit of a rest while I was talking to you, so now I'm going to try and canter again. So in the beginning, I tell people go for, if they can canter that circle, see if you can do it 3 times, but give them breaks in between. If they can, if it's really hard, then maybe only do it 2 times or just do it once. If you're like, oh my God, it took me forever, and he cantered 3 steps and oh, it was spectacular, I couldn't believe how good it was. That's when you quit, because you want that to be the last thing in his mind. And I always tell people, if you're going to try it again, you have to be willing to do it 20 more times, because sometimes they're tired and they can't do it. It takes you 20 more times to even get it adequate. So remember, quit when it's good. So let's try it again, and then I'll see how much energy he has left. So half halt, shift my weight to the right, right leg. Not cantering, just spur, canter. Now both legs squeeze every time I hit the saddle, squeeze. Good boy. Good job, Bacon. Job. Okay, so it doesn't seem like much, especially the English people and the Western people. They'll be cantering circles for an hour, but they're not on gaited horses, are they? So just for me, listening to Bacon's breathing and how hard I had to push him around that time to get him to go, I'm gonna give him a little treat while I'm talking. I could tell it took a lot of his energy out. So to the left, that's all I'm going to do, because I know if I go again, it might be harder, and these horses, if they get tired, you exhaust them and they're in deep footing, they tend to drag their feet so they can get trippy. So you don't want to do that. Okay. I should hold the reins because that's a bad example for you. But he did very well. So I'm going to let him catch his air for like another minute, and then before he forgets what we were doing, I'm going to canter the other way. So again, now we're going to ask for his right lead, or he will be leading further with his right front leg, and with their legs he's going to go like this. It's going to be left leg first, then right leg comes further. So it'll be left leg first and right leg comes further, because that confuses a lot of people, and they go, they're on their left lead because the left leg came forward first. And I go, no, it's not which leg comes forward first, it's which leg comes forward the farthest. Okay, so it's like you're skipping with one leg. Both legs are moving, but one leg is coming further. So the reason they canter on the right lead is for their balance, because when they canter off, the wall pushes them in and they fall onto their right leg to make it easier. If they're on the left lead but they're going to the right, they are on the wrong lead. Now it gets confusing because in dressage they do that on purpose, and it's called counter cantering, and they're doing that to balance their horse. It's very hard for the horses to do, but the ones who have been in the arena a long time, even the gaited ones, can do it. So it just matters where you're spending more time practicing. Okay, so now we're going to go to the right. So I'm going to ask the canter with my left leg, which is my outside leg. So I'm going to half halt, shift my weight to the left leg canter. Every time my butt hits the saddle, so he knows to keep going. you hear him breathing? Now he stopped. So that was his right lead. So he's better on his right lead. It's a smoother canter, it's a nicer canter. And that's because when they're on trail, they're right-handed or left-handed. Because the people are just riding them on trail, and so the horse always picks the lead that they're more comfortable with. He's like, are you giving me a cookie? Not yet. So just like I'm right-handed, I don't do stuff with my left hand unless I have to. So they always have one that they're going to be better at because he's been doing this on the trail forever. So his right lead is his better lead. So what that means is when I'm practicing canter in the arena, I always practice on their bad lead first because it's going to take more of their energy out. So that's why I went to the left. So to the right, it'll be easier for him, it'll be easier for you. So if you're both tired, it'll be easier. Now going this direction, he cut in a little bit and he added a couple trot steps before he got it. That's okay. You know, in time you can fix that, you can tap him with the stick, but in the beginning, because he hasn't had years of an arena work, I'm going to accept it and then we tune it up as they get better. Okay. So now he's had a break, so I'm going to ask him to canter again. I'll ask a little sooner, so hopefully you can see him picking it up. But again, if he trots a couple of steps, that's okay as long as he gets the correct lead. And always keep your weight to the outside because a lot of people lean in and then the horse can't pick up the correct lead. Okay. I'm not holding on to him. Good boy. So now I'm going to give him a little treat because he tried pretty hard. But let's give it on the right side because you don't always want them turning their head the same way. Okay. So there, he picked up the right lead. It was pretty good. And part of it, just the last circle. Well, I didn't make that many circles. I pushed my hands forward. So you see I'm not holding him or collecting him. He can self-collect himself, which is great, but that's why it takes more energy out of him versus a horse that's leaning and you're collecting and doing all the work for the horse. So he's collecting himself. So again, you want to reward him for doing the right thing, and then each time you can go a little further. So today if I cantered, 2 circles each direction, well then maybe next week, because you practice that for a week, then next week maybe you could try for 3 circles if he seems better, and then keep that a week or 2, and then after that for 4 circles. But again, anytime you get a magnificent canter step or a magnificent gait step, that's when you stop and give the horse the break. You want to keep going because we always want more, right? Just like chocolate cookies. I always want more, but it's not good for me. I'm going to get too fat. So I have to cut the cookies out, okay? So just like with the horse, you want more. You do a side pass and you're like, oh my God, that was so cool. I'm going to side pass 20 steps. And then the horse goes up here. So I'm not side passing anymore because that's not fun. So the same thing with the canter, jumping, any of the maneuvers you do with the horses is, he's just itching himself, is that if you do it too much and too hard, they don't want to do it anymore. See? He's like, no, we don't want to do it anymore. And then they start refusing to do the jobs for you. So always make it fun, always end on a good note. And then each week it should be getting better, not worse. If it's getting worse, you need to contact me and let me know. And then, in case I forget, other things too, I can ride with you the first time you ride them. If you want, just put your phone up. You can FaceTime me, or you can put your phone up like I'm doing on the wall, videotape it, send it to me, and then, as depending on the service here. But then I can get back to you and I can tell you, go faster, go slower, bring his head up, bring his head down. You're leaning forward, you're looking down. I can give you all those tips to help you so it gets better, okay? So that's for him. He did good, but again, our best footing, sorry, buddy, is in this round pen. So, when I'm working on the canter, this is where I want to go versus the other parts that aren't uneven. I always tell people, like, if you want to fix your arena, bring a gaited horse in it because he'll tell you all the high spots, all the low spots, the trippy spots, all that stuff. They're like a leveler. They can figure it all out and you'll know because they change their gaits or their canter in those speeds. All right, I think that's it for videos. Right? Say, I can't wait to come home. I'm always adding stuff. So the round pen's right there, since I want him to like it. Once I'm done, I took off his bridle. I'm letting him graze right by the round pen, so he'll want to go in there again. And I'm not going to do it over by the barn over there. That's where I tie them up and torture them so they don't want to go back in their stalls. So again, when they do something good, then if you can, pretty soon afterwards, let them graze or treat or scratches or rubs. Loosen your girth, take off their bridle, because those are the things they appreciate.